This is a podcast designed for BCD people with BCD people. On this show, we're celebrating the diverse workplace cultures and connecting people across functions with our most confident self-colleagues. So come on, let's go have some fun as we feed our future learning about the business, each other, and life at BCD. And today's one of those episodes that I get completely stoked about because we take what is sometimes externally focused and turn it back inside so that our employees understand what we're doing externally. So please welcome to the podcast this week, Chet Marshall, Kristen Jarman, and Hannah Howell. We're excited to do life with you at BCD today. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey, Chica, thank you so much for having us today.
Yeah.
We're excited to be here.
And this is kind of cool too, because it's been a minute since we've done a roundtable type format. So why don't we quickly run around the circle? I'll pass you each a torch and give us your 30 seconds. Who are you? Where are you? How long have you been at BCD? Hannah, we're starting with you. Go.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Howell. I've been with BCD for almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in May. And I'm the Solution Source Product Marketing Manager. So what that means is I work with all of our Solution Source partners to make sure that we're educated internally about their solutions, but we're also letting our clients know about their solutions as well and looking for good partners and good partnerships with that. I am located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Very good. Thank you, Hannah. And first one in, Chet, Kristen, up to you.
Sure, I'll go for it. All right, so hey, I'm Chet Marshall. I'm the Senior Product Manager for our APIs, as well as developer experience within Solution Source. I started at BCD Travel a little over 4 months ago.
Ooh.
And I'm enjoying my time. I'm located here in Seattle. I'm learning a lot about the travel industry, and we're building some cool stuff. So
and we're excited to dig into that with both you and Hannah. And Kristen, why don't you go?
All right, thanks. Hi, I'm Kristen Jarman. I've been with BCD for going on 5 years now. I'm Director of Global Product Marketing, so I really focus on our overall Solution Source platform brand as well as Decision Source, and we look at how these platforms interact and how we position them with our clients. I am so excited to be working on the Solution Source platform. Like Chet said, it's really exciting and a different area of focus for us as a company. I'm located in Dallas-Fort Worth as well, so Hannah and I have the opportunity to get together pretty regularly as we are marketing some of our Solution Source partners and thinking about the brand as a whole.
So Chet and I need to be very careful not to mess with Texas today in all
That's
of our questions and statements.
Never mess with Texas.
All right. Well, thank you all for the
Lightly.
introductions. And I'm excited to jump into talking a little bit about the meat of what you do. So I heard a couple of times there, Solution Source. I heard Decision Source. I heard API. Let's start with Solution Source. What is a solution and what is a source? When a layperson looks at you and says, so that's the product, huh? Explain it to me.
Yeah, the source platforms are actually kind of a running joke around here, right? How many source platforms do we have? We started off with Decision Source and Trip Source, and since then we've watched that platform wheel grow. Solution Source was the third platform that we brought to market, and it's really all about how we allow our clients to select different solutions that really help them customize their program to fit their unique needs.
Great. So could you give us an example of a solution?
Sure. So we partner with a number of third parties across duty of care. So if you think about International SOS or Anvil, for example, or WorldAware, we also partner with some new and upcoming technologies. Guest travel is a big area. So PANA is one of our partners. We also partner with a couple of companies that help employees really make the most out of their travel program, like Rocket Trip and TripKick. So these solutions can span a vast array of types that really just help our clients pick and choose what's going to make the most for their program.
Very cool, Chris. And so I think of myself right now not knowing and never really sitting in the client seat. If I'm a client and you've just approached me, can you or Hannah or Chet kind of explain what's the process like? So you come to me, I'm the client, you say, hey, we got this thing called Solution Source. Is it a platform that I choose from? Is it, a physical packet that I got to flick through and say, like, how does that all work?
Yeah, I
Sure.
can take that one, Kristen, if you don't mind. So, as a client of BCD, you would go to the Solution Source Marketplace, which is solutionsource.bcdtravel.com, and that's where you would see all of the different third parties that we work with, that we offer to our clients. So, as a client, you thinking about what your needs are as a corporation in your travel department, you would identify those problem areas, find a solution that works for you, and then once you've identified that solution or third party that you think might be a good fit, there are really two ways to move forward from there. One, you can contact your BCD program manager, let them know, and then they'll get in touch with our team, and from there we'll set up time with our partner and the client and the program manager to kind of learn more about the solution and take the next steps. Or from the Solution Source Marketplace, there's a form to fill out from the partners page to sort of inquire for more information. So it's really easy, we hope.
Yeah,
to
it
get
sounds like
started
it.
with Solution Source.
Cool. And as a client, is this an extra add-on service that I'm paying for? Is this gravy on top of the mashed potatoes I'm already paying for? How does that work?
That's a great question. So Solution Source itself is available for anyone to go shop. You can think of it kind of like an app store. So anyone can go take a look at it. They can shop around. But when it comes time to actually selecting one of these partners, the agreement is typically done between the client and the partner themselves. So they work out that agreement there. But the secret sauce that BCD is able to offer is on the implementation side and how we've integrated with each of these partners. So we don't charge any additional fees to our clients for that. We have the ability to integrate and be able to bring those different solutions directly into their program. So it's not just a separate add-on that sits over in the background. It's something that's truly integrated and part of their program.
I think another thing that's important to touch on is that as a company, BCD will always continue to invest in our own core products, but at the same time, we're starting to realize that we can't build everything, right? And each one of our clients have unique cultures, unique programs, different ways of managing their program. And so having the Solution Source Marketplace available and all of these partner programs really allows our clients to elevate their travel program and kind of customize their program to fit their corporate needs.
Very, very clear. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Chet. And Chet, if I can turn the corner real quick and talk to you, you mentioned in your opening bio the letters API.
Yeah.
So the layman, woman, person, what is an API? Because I could make it up right now, and we could.
All right, let's see
Nailed
if I
it.
can explain this in pretty easy terms here. So API stands for Application Programming Interface, and
Exactly
really
what I was going to say.
really what it is it's the way companies exchange data now, right? The old way of exchanging data was like a Excel spreadsheet that you would send to like an FTP server, and people would pull that down, and then you'd parse that data, and it's a very slow manual process. Well, with APIs, I like to explain APIs as kind of like an electrical outlet in your wall, right? So
Okay.
that's an interface for getting electricity, right? And
Yes.
whether you're building a computer, a washing machine, a television, you understand the standards that are needed to get the electricity out of the wall, right? And so an API is more or less that interface. It's the outlet in the wall that rather than electricity, you get data from. And so we build standards that say, hey, if you want to receive this sort of data, if you want to get this P&R information, you need to follow this format. And so essentially companies can send requests to us, and if everything matches up, then we send them the data. Easy peasy, real time.
So there's specific passwords and keys and such that it has to match up before you can translate between the two.
Yeah, of course. There's security in there. There's logging, right? We can make sure that the right people are getting the right data. But really, what it comes down to is having a standard interface that developers can use to quickly exchange data.
So if we could make this even, or not even simpler, but just another example, Chet, like let's go to our phones for a second. Mm-hmm. Explain to me using an app on my phone how API works.
Sure. So let's just say, let's take the TripSource application, for example.
Okay. Nice plug, by the way. Could have chosen any application and you choose the greatest. Very well done.
So we're going to move you over to the marketing team if you're not careful.
Love it.
All right. So when you open up your TripSource app, right, you log in. That also uses an API. But the easiest way to explain it here is that you want to search for a hotel. And so you put in your dates, you put in your location, you hit search. Right then, what's happening is the TripSource application is hitting our hotel shopping API, which is one of our APIs that's available. And essentially what that's doing is that's then going through all of BCD's information behind the scenes, getting the data that matches that request, and then sending it back to the application or the TripSource mobile app via another API. And so really in that quick, second that it takes to say, find my hotel, all of this is happening behind the scenes, real time, getting real accurate data so that you can book your hotel.
Fantastic. And for the listeners that are either dialing in, dialing out, ask yourself again, what does API stand for? Chet, what does API stand for?
It's Application Programming Interface. It's a way to share data among different platforms.
Very cool. And Chet, while we've got you live going down this path, I believe that recently you were at a conference. Could you maybe explain to us what you were doing at that conference and what you were demonstrating on behalf of BCD?
Sure. So I was recently brought on to the Solution Source team to help open up what we now call our Developer Hub. And essentially what this is the Developer Hub is a public-facing website. It's developer.bcdtravel.com. And essentially anyone can go there. It's made for developers, right? Essentially we're exposing our code for our APIs, all of our documentation, how they work, etc. But anyone can go there, see how our APIs are formatted, how they work, what information is available, so that they can use this information to build new solutions or integrate with the APIs that we have available. And right now, currently we have 5 APIs available. We can do car booking and shopping, air booking and shopping, hotel booking and shopping, a travel data API, which is mainly all pre-trip data, as well as a profile API, which the profile API includes things like traveler preferences, seat preferences, traveler membership numbers, things like that. And so what we're doing with the Developer Hub is we're opening it up for these partners to come in and say, I've got this great idea. What information can BCD share with me so that I can build this solution and ultimately add value to our BCD's clients?
So Development Hub, is that what you call it, or does it have another saucy name? No pun intended.
No, it's just Developer Hub.
But it is part of the Solution Source platform.
Yes.
So this is really the other half of our platform that's our developer-facing half.
Under the Solution Source umbrella, there's the Solution Source Marketplace, which is where our clients would go to partner up with these third parties. And then we have the Solution Source Developer Hub, which is what we just recently launched a few months ago, which is where developers can access our APIs.
And so
I just wanted to make
that's
that
the
clear.
audience, right? Is audience specific to developers for Development Hub?
Yes.
What up, BCD fam? This is Chika with a quick commercial break. So if you're on a treadmill, great time to press pause and go get a glass of water. If you're in a car and you need a pee break, I can't help you with that. But while I have you, I do want to shake your hand, give you a knuckle bump and a high five, maybe even a bro hug, for sharing this content out to your colleagues. Yes, we all are about celebrating and collaborating and connection here at BCD, and that's the purpose of this podcast, to help spread business acumen and spread all the great stories about our lives at BCD across the different networks and across the different regions. So if you have yet to share this with 5 people this month, please push this episode because it's a great example of what we're doing here. And if you know of SMEs or geniuses or people you just say, I want you to share your life with BCD on the podcast, send them my way or tell me who they are so I can go track them down. It's thanks to people like you and listeners like you that we're now over 60 episodes. We're close to 7,000 downloads and we want to continue. So please share the love. And right now I'm going to jump back in so we can hear more about the solution sources and life at BCD.
As the industry continues to evolve, data becomes really, really important, and access to this data is really what's going to start separating companies from each other. And so really, I think it's important because the data that we sit on as a TMC includes, trip information, our travelers' preferences, supplier content, whether that's GDS content, Airbnb content, NDC content. We have all of this data that we sit upon. And then essentially what we do with this data is we normalize it, right? Because all of these different content sources have different formats, different naming conventions, different ways of, passing along their data. And so BCD, we take all of this data, we normalize it, we make it pretty, we make it understandable, we put it in a format that most people can understand. And then we build these APIs on top of this normalized data. And the people who are using these APIs are our own internal products, things like, Trip Source, Decision Source, as well as technology providers. We also have agency partners, our partner agencies that we partner with, as well as some of our clients. So while the audience for Developer Hub may be developers, we are sharing this data with numerous people within the industry, and really the value that it brings is I like to think of it as the speed to market.
Nice.
Because people can essentially come to the Developer Hub, see what data is available, and then understand and read the documentation onto how it's being presented, how it comes across, what the parameters are, and they can easily get going quick.
Are we a unicorn surfing down a rainbow here in the industry, or are we like every other TMC? Is every other TMC doing something similar?
Kristen, you want to take this one?
We are a unicorn floating down a rainbow. I love that analogy, but no, really, we are we're the first TMC to truly take this fully open approach. So there are some other TMCs that do have a form of a developer hub. They've got some sort of portal, but the big difference is that they're not open. They're closed off. They're locked behind a username and a password, and no one really knows what's going on inside there. At BCD, we've really taken this truly open approach and putting our APIs out there, putting the actual documentation out there. You can go look at it. Any employee of BCD can go look at it. Anyone who wants to go to that website has full access and can see all of the information there.
That's
On top
great.
of that, the marketplace, we're the only TMC who has created this open marketplace and has created this approach where it's really easy to work with these other third parties with BCD. And that's something significantly different from our competitors.
And so fast forward 1 year, 18 months, 2 years from now, 24 months, and the four of us are having the same conversation looking back at today. What do you see has happened in the last 2 years in terms of what's coming? What's next for DevHub?
That's a great question. I think as we continue to grow, we're continuing to see new APIs being built, new ways of integrating and working with BCD. We're seeing new partners, and even beyond all of that, we're actually helping the industry as a whole grow by creating this open infrastructure. We're able to help support some of these smaller new startups. They're creating some new really cool technology within the industry. Chet, would you add anything to that?
Yeah, I think, Kristen, I think you're spot on. I think for us as a company, the real big thing I think that will come out of this is our expanding partnerships. With this open approach, we're more or less telling the industry that, hey, we mean business. We're open. We want to work with you. So come on over. And people have limited resources. They can't do everything they want at every time. So typically the path of least resistance is where you go. And so when BCD has an open platform, these startups, they only have so many people. Do they want to spend their time trying to develop to a closed system, or do they want to come over, spend their time, and work with BCD, and we put them in contact with our clients? So I think it's the expanding the partnerships, and then just like Kristen touched on, we are helping the travel technology industry evolve and adopt more modern technology standards.
Innovation and acceleration.
Absolutely.
Very, very, very cool.
Absolutely.
And thank you all for giving a very clear picture there. If you wouldn't mind, could you help connect every employee to you? How many people in your team, like how many teams within the team, and who are your leaders driving this?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah. No problem. I'm like, wow, we don't even know. Okay, so in terms of me, the employee, I know that there is a solution source team. Like, do you have 10 people? Is it 50 people? How big is this team? And then who are your senior leaders?
So our team, we started off really small. There were 2 of us when we actually launched Solution Source. Since then, we've grown we're sitting around 10 people now. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd say around there.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Around 10 people now. So just over the course of the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of growth within this team. Irina Matz is the senior director leading Solution Source as a whole. And then we all report up to Yanis Karmas, who has really been driving the innovation in this area over the last couple of years.
That's fantastic. We all love the Yanis. And then the other question I had, thinking about me, the employee, or all of our listeners who are employees, how do we help you sell? How do we help add value? How can we help promote Solution Source?
So for me,
great.
as the the developer hub, the biggest thing for me is getting customer feedback. So I'm fairly removed from our customers. I don't want to say I'm really removed, but I'm not like an account manager who's constantly speaking to our clients. And I think that's the information that I need the most, right? Because we need to make sure that what we're building is what our customers need. And so if anybody has any ideas, any feedback, that's the type of stuff that I feed off of. And so I can be reached at chet.marshall@bcdtravel.com. I'm always open, typically available. So if there's any sort of feedback, any improvements, anything like that, I'm always ready and wanting to hear it.
Wonderful.
Whether it's good or bad.
That's feedback.
Yeah, I think the same goes for me. Like Chet said, we're not directly client facing. And so it would be great to get some feedback on, maybe our clients have a third party that they want to work with that isn't in Solution Source. We would love to hear that. At the end of the day, our goal with Solution Source is to help our clients find the solutions that they need for their programs. Because like Chet said earlier, all of our clients have unique businesses, unique needs. It is not a one-size-fits-all travel program approach. So we want to make sure that our clients are hooked up with the solutions that they need. And I think on my end in marketing, it's mostly about raising awareness with our clients. So our clients might not know that Solution Source is out there. I mean, it hasn't been in the market for a terribly long time like some of our other products are. So I think it's just, talking to your clients about Solution Source. If we don't have a core solution that fits their needs, or if they want to augment their existing program and solutions that they use today with one of our partners, just, raise that with your clients. Reach out to any of us on the Solution Source team if we can help in any way. Our email is solutionsource@bcdtravel.com. So hopefully that's pretty easy for folks to remember, and drop us a line. We'd love to help.
That's
Hannah,
great.
I had a quick question. You mentioned that we're growing and we've been growing. Do you know how many partners we had in the marketplace at the beginning of, say, 2019 to now?
Yeah, I think we had.
Yeah, I
at the
think we
beginning of
actually launched with
2019.
9.
And
Oh,
how many do we have now?
Okay, so then we had 12 at the beginning of 2019, and now we have 19.
Woo!
Yeah, so almost doubled in a year.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Good for you,
Yeah.
Solution Source team. And high five. High fives all around the table. Well, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners before we begin to wrap this up for this week's episode?
I've got one thing I'd like to share.
Please.
Like Kristen said, we're probably at the size that our team's going to be for this year. But if anyone is interested in learning more about Solution Source, or maybe working with us, we are always looking for people who want to learn more, who are interested in the stuff that we do. And so, if there's anyone who says, "Wow, this is really cool, I'd like to be a part of that," please reach out to us. Maybe there might not be something right away, but it's nice to find people who are passionate about this and excited about it, if that makes sense.
That's a great point, Chat, and I think that is advantageous for any employee at BCD to always stretch across to see where you can lattice your next move in your career, should it
Absolutely.
be passion that you're following. So great. Anything from you, Kristen, Hannah, before we begin to wrap up?
No, I think that's it. Thank you so much for having us, Chica.
Of course, but before we go,
Thank you, Chica.
just like normal life at BCD, I have 5 quick questions that we're going to go around the table, and you have no idea what's coming, do you? And as we go around this table, you're going to do your best to answer it. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's go.
question number 1 is, if you were the captain of your own ship, what would you call your own ship? Chet, ready, set, go.
Solution Source. Is there a better name than that?
Kristen,
I have no idea, Chica.
I'll come back to you. Hannah, go.
I'm going to go with the Gunzel Wave, because my maiden name is Gunzelman, and
Good.
we just have a fun time adding things to the end of that. So.
Very good. Coming back to you, Kristen. Name your ship. Go. We'll call it Jenny from Forrest Gump. Okay. Hannah, coming at you. Your favorite letter in the alphabet. Ready, set, go.
Gotta be H.
Chet.
I'm going with C.
Kristen, come on, you can answer this one.
I'm Jay. Two daughters with the first name starts with J, and my last name's J too.
Speaking of daughters, I have a yo-yo here in front of me. If I was to give you a yo-yo, could you use it, Hannah?
Just do the most basic yo-yo move. I used to be able to do the walk the dog, but I've lost that.
Oh, you even named the tricks. Kristen, what about you?
Absolutely. Keep me entertained while I sit here at my desk all day.
Chet, yo-yo?
Yeah, I could throw it around, but that's
Around the
about
world.
it.
Wow.
Yeah, around the world. That's what I do.
What a master. All right. And then, of course, because you guys are in the Source family, Solution Source, Decision Source, what is your favorite type of sauce whenever you're eating something? Chet?
Oh, man. Does butter count as a sauce? I love butter.
Butter?
I put
Kristen?
If
butter
it's
on everything.
melted,
I
what's
like
yours?
all sauces. Honey mustard, though, is my favorite.
Honey mustard. Good for you. Hannah.
My go-to is fire sauce from Taco Bell. Don't
Ooh.
judge me.
The Kansas Texas hybrid right there. Taco Bell fire sauce. All right. And then the final question for all of you, and you can just choose to jump in when you want to. Why, at the moment, have you loved working at BCD? Why do you love your BCD life?
It's the people. The people are really among some of the best I've worked with in my career.
Thank you, Kristen.
The thing I like about
We have the best team. Oh, sorry, Chet.
You got it, Hannah.
the thing that I like about especially being new here at BCD is the freedom that I have to make decisions and take risks. And I think the freedom that Irina has given us as a team to help grow is really, really great. Kind of, we're all empowered to make our decisions as we see fit and run with them.
It has been great connecting with the three of you, and thank you for the privilege of listening to your expertise in APIs, in development hubs, in decision source, in solution source. So thank you all for being here, and we'll catch you next time on A Life at BCD. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you, Chica.
Cheers.
Thanks, Chica.